like, bro.
She got a kid. Look at his back. Oh my god. Yeah, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we're reacting to are black people ready to talk about race hustlers? Race hustlers. What exactly is that, man?
If you know what a race hustler is, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please explain to us what it is. I'm pretty sure she's gonna let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's always good to hear other insights.
yeah. We're trying to open up this channel to everybody's point of view. We've actually been reacting to a lot of conservative stuff. We're gonna start reacting to some stuff on the left, whatever. Let's not back. I'm rambling.
Raise your hand if you've heard of George Floyd. Raise your hand if you've heard of Tony Timpa. Raise your hand if you've heard of Victoria Rose Smith. Raise your hand if you've heard of Breonna Taylor. Now, I don't expect everyone to know who all of these names are. That is, unless you're a self-proclaimed activist who's joined the fight against racial injustice, which in that case, if some of these names don't ring a bell, it might be time to start asking why. Hi, my name is Gothix, and today's topic will be covering race hustlers. So, what is a race hustler exactly? Well, professional race hustlers are people who incite or promote division and fear-mongering to exploit racial and ethnic tensions in order to advance some personal, political, ideological, financial, or other agenda. Going back in history, you'll find many public figures who've called out race hustlers. Booker T. Washington, a prominent black educator, was one of them. He said the following: "There is a class of colored people who make a business of keeping the troubles, the wrongs, and the hardships of the Negro race before the public. Having learned that they are able to make a living out of their troubles, they have grown into the settled habit of advertising their wrongs, partly because they want sympathy and partly because it pays. Some of these people do not want the Negro to lose his grievances because they don't want to lose their jobs." Race hustlers, race baiting, or race agitation can be found in various places, including politics, Hollywood, and the media, which I find to be the most damaging of them all. Going back to my original question, I asked you which of these names seemed familiar. If you were outraged about George Floyd, then you should be equally outraged to learn about Tony Timpa, a 32-year-old man who died by the hands of police officers. Did I mention that the officers were also kneeling on him? But if you look at the coverage surrounding Tony Timpa, it's clear that the story wasn't treated in the same way as the coverage surrounding George Floyd. Race isn't mentioned anywhere in the story, and of course, Tony's death didn't spark international outrage. The same can be said about the case surrounding Justine Damon, a white woman who was killed by a black officer. Again, no mention of race anywhere in the story, and no outrage. What I just described to you is an obvious pattern in what I would consider race baiting. When a story involves a black victim and a white suspect, mainly if it's a white cop, journalists make a point to specify that the victim was black. But in the reverse, when the victim is white, race doesn't seem as important. In my opinion, the reason media outlets do this is to incite an emotional response from the public. And because so many black Americans haven't quite abandoned their obsession with righting the wrongs of slavery, I believe that the media finds these folks to be easy prey. And by the way, don't hurt the messenger, I'm just paraphrasing something that Manning Johnson, a black man, wrote in his book. It is a hangover from slavery when the Negro had to depend on the master for everything necessary for his well-being. At the same time, it proves that no proclamation of emancipation is capable of freeing those who do not wish to be free. The Negro intelligentsia, by far and large, is physically free, but mentally slave. After nearly a century removed from slavery, they are unwilling and incapable of throwing off their slave psychology. Red and political charlatans of all shades, aware of this fact, find the Negro easy prey. So, at this point, knowing what we know about race hustling in the media should pose the question, why? Why do some stories get reported with a racial undertone while others don't? One could say, well, black people are disproportionately targeted by the police, and in that case, I would ask you to prove it. Because the thing that the media, politicians, self-proclaimed activists, and even data won't tell you is that racial motivation is extremely hard to prove. If all the evidence you have is a white cop killing a black man, then I would expect every police shooting to be reported in the same way, even if it's in the reverse. Because again, these two factors don't actually prove racial motivation. Aside from that, there's the matter of selective outrage. I believe that this is due in part to the media choosing to race bait certain stories. Framing a story with a racial undertone is bound to rile some people up, so it's no surprise that there wasn't massive outrage for Tony Timpa or Justine Damon. But Gothics, the reason that there was no outrage with those stories is because the data shows that black people are getting killed at a much higher rate. Stop it. I've already debunked that in another video, so I need you to stop playing devil's advocate for just 1 second and understand that race hustling has been a thing for years, and this topic always gets deflected as anti-black rhetoric, which, I get it. If the entirety of someone's livelihood was built off of exploiting another person's trauma, I can understand the unwillingness of wanting to...
What is anti-black? What exactly are we pushing against? What do black people have that we're going to destroy right now? Tell me in the comments. What are we protecting? Our failing community?
Pause the video. We'll give you a second.
Our demeaning rap music? Our demeaning drug culture? Our demeaning deaf culture? We're not slaves. Stop whining. We have to work. And like we keep talking about it. We keep talking about it.
I remember this video, man, about black businesses.
Yeah.
About people asking for discounts.
Like, bro, this not in my store, man.
Bro, people asking for discounts all the time.
Hey, bro, you trying to slime some more extra cheese, man?
Like, we shouldn't be asking for something, like, for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
cause like as people, we think of like.
And then they expect you to do it.
If we can get this for free, then we'll be cool.
Exactly. Like, you've been getting stuff for free. It's like so much. Then they expect you like to do it just because I'm black. Like, you say, where you don't know, man. Like, come on, man. Like, what is this like? Just behavior. Like, I just be seeing like the way dudes behave.
He acted, bro. It's just like it just throws
walk around. Get your headphones. Rapping out loud. Whatever, I guess, but dude's been doing that, like walk around with the beatbox thing. Remember that? I don't know.
Yeah,
Stop using it.
They didn't have like ear things. They had the music out loud. You can actually hear it. It sounded like.
Look, come to Pittsburgh and you'll be able to see the tone, bro.
Yeah,
like it's like.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
Completely different from how it was.
It's like tap water central.
Tap water central. But yeah, I enjoyed this. We're probably going to react to this.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2.
Part 2, yeah. If you enjoyed this reaction, make sure to like button, subscribe, and share, man. We'll see you next time. Peace.